How's it going, people? Welcome to this week's edition of The Locker Room, right here on Top 6 Fan TV. Lots of talking points from an interesting weekend in the English Premier League, and it is fireworks across the board. Major information breaking today, and we'll get into the bits of information after our intro right here.
Bukayo Saka! Anthony! Salah! Beautiful from a bloody Bane! There goes Haaland. He's on.
Brilliant. Welcome if you're just joining us. Welcome to the locker room right here on Top 6 Fan TV. I am joined today by Manzi, Man United fan, and Jonah, Mr. Liverpool, as you can see with his his away jersey, and I will be flying the Arsenal flag today. Solos, we will be joined by a surprise guest a little later on, and I'm very sure that we'll have a fantastic show. But welcome, gentlemen, and welcome viewers in the virtual audience. Do feel free to hit that subscribe button at the bottom of your screen, hit the like button, share our content and our link for others to enjoy, but also feel free to participate by dropping your comments right here on the channel. Thank you for joining, and we'll get straight into the big talking points from a weekend of English Premier League action. And we will start not with a preview, or rather a review of one of the games, but the breaking news that came out later today. Eric Ten Hag has been sacked officially. That news coming out from Manchester United, dropping first on the Manchester United website and not Fabrizio Romano, as many people thought. But yes, that news coming out. Eric Ten Hag sacked, and he leaves Man United with immediate effect. We'll go into the talking points around what this means for United, who is taking charge, and what the odds are, or who are the contenders for the hot seat at Old Trafford, because it is indeed a hot seat. But first of all, we'll go into a recap of the big one from the weekend. Arsenal welcoming Liverpool to the Emirates, 2-2 the final score. Goals coming in from Bukayo Saka with that opener. Of course, he was a surprise starter in there, having been missed the last game with injury. And then, obviously Liverpool hitting back to Virgil van Dijk. Merino nudging it ahead for Arsenal again with a great header before Mo Salah did what he does best, securing the draw for Liverpool. Jonah, I'll pull you into this. You know that we had some great build-up conversation before this game. We expected Liverpool to steamroll the Arsenal at the Emirates, but would you consider this a point gained for Liverpool, or was it an opportunity missed? Hey, Jonah, you're on mute.
Yeah, I was saying, getting a point at the Emirates, considering that you guys, where you've been the last few seasons as the challengers, I would say is a good point. But obviously, the narrative coming into the game was that Arsenal is weakened with Saliba being absent and Odegaard. We all knew Saka would play. That one, there was no surprise, at least on my end. But still, with no Odegaard and no Saliba, I would say we were coming into the game with a bit of better form. So I would have hoped to get the 3 points, but still 1 point is fine.
Hey, man, very humble. Manzi, what was your take? Man is very humble.
It's very humble. It was very interesting for me because as a neutral, I thought Arsenal definitely would play well. But I was on the side of Liverpool because I know Musem Zan was saying maybe a few weeks ago that Anslot is not a good manager. He has not played any big teams. And then I'm like, okay, they beat United, they beat Chelsea. Those are not big teams. Okay. And
Who
so
said?
I
But that
thought
was the
Arsenal
Man
would
U
be the
fan
big
who
team.
said that.
It's a money fan. Then they would beat Arsenal.
Hey.
But watching that game, man, hey, Arsenal was very good. They played well. Their attack was good. The final score, I think, is the best outcome for both teams because both teams were equally good going forward, but they maybe were equally poor in defending because it could have been 3-3 or 2-2. It was bound to be a draw. I liked how Liverpool, they play some serious counter-attack football. They are very fast. They are the United of old. The ball is in defense 1 second, the next second it's Mo Salah and it's in goal. So that
Mm.
fast-paced kind of play was very, and it was similar with Arsenal because Arsenal's goal was also very quick, not the former Arsenal 200 touches before you score. That tiki-taka football, which is to bore us. So I think both teams deserve a point. No one deserves 3 points, and no one deserves to lose that game. Yeah.
Hey, you guys are very humble. Very, very humble. In my view, I think this
Yeah.
was a
What's
missed
your view?
opportunity for Liverpool, for sure.
Oh, you
Because
man, you say that because you're an Arsenal fan. Why not a missed opportunity
no,
for
no,
Arsenal?
no, 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 no. The best that I expected from this match as an Arsenal fan, to be honest, with the form that Liverpool was coming to the Emirates with, they lost. They have not lost in Arne Slot past what is it? Yeah, 10 games before this. They won 9 out of that, out of the 10. I mean, they're on fire. They're on top of the table. They had the best defense in the land. Their attack was firing. I think it's only Diogo Jota who was missing from it. Compare that to the Arsenal, who, yes, fine. Saka started, you would argue Martinelli, but because of the lack of Odegaard in that defense, in the midfield, we had to, Mikel Arteta more or less set up in a manner that did give us the usual or the best attacking impetus and control of that midfield from an attacking point of view. It was more control from a defensive suppressing point of view. So Mikel Merino, Declan Rice, and he now switched Havertz again instead of putting him at the front. He put Trossard to play as a half nine, obviously because of his finishing. And so for me, that made sure we're lacking in attack. I'd much rather have Havertz playing at the front and have Trossard in the midfield. So you could argue, yes, maybe it was tactics, but still driven by that lack of Odegaard, who's a big miss for us. And then no Saliba, you had a half-fit Timber, as you saw. Gabriel got injured at the end of the first half. So, I mean, really, the second half, Arsenal were there for the taking. I was not surprised that Liverpool equalized. I was even on tenterhooks because I was like, "Hey, these guys are going to finish us off with a late winner." But I was surprised that I saw guys clapping, man. Guys, Liverpool guys were clapping at the final whistle. Man, that's good. So I don't know. For me, this looks like an opportunity lost, to be honest, for Liverpool. And and the only
Anything, it's
winner
an
in this.
opportunity for Arsenal.
Hmm? Yes, yes,
If
of
anything,
course,
it's
of
an
course.
opportunity because
No, certainly. I certainly agree. And I don't know whether Jonah agrees, but even for us, it's a lost opportunity because
mm,
ideally we should have held on. We took the lead twice. Liverpool pegged us back
yeah,
twice, but I do not blame the team, especially for the second equalizer. The first equalizer was more of in-game, the dynamics of the game. Liverpool was also very good at keeping the ball, typical of Arne Slot's more patient build-up play compared to the heavy metal of Jurgen Klopp in the past. But for me, the winner in this is Man City because now they go top as a result of their win, which we will come to. And if you look at the Premier League table, City are now ahead by 1 point on 23 points. Liverpool second, 22. Arsenal further 4 points behind on 18 points. So Arsenal definitely lost, but for me, I mean, as an Arsenal fan, typically we need to hang around. We were in a bit of an injury crisis, and you did see that a half-fit Jurriën Timber actually limped off again. But then, more damningly, we did see Gabriel also limp off with an injury. Now, that you know, with Newcastle and Chelsea coming up next, that is not good news. And so for you know, Arsenal will do well to get to December with you know, when we expect, let's say, Odegaard to come back. If we're still third or fourth and we get to December, I think we have a chance of sort of stabilizing, getting the balance right, and coming back. But Jonah, I think you guys missed the plot. It was your chance to sort of put some good distance beyond us, but more importantly, keep ahead of Man City, because you know how City are when they go ahead.
No. Honestly, like the narrative had been built up by pundits that you guys have all these injuries, but everyone has injuries. We're missing Alisson.
Yeah.
We're missing Jota. We're missing Elliott. You can't even count missing Saliba because it's
But
not
those
like
are
he
not
was
starters.
injured. Alisson
not
is not a
starters.
starter. Jota is not a starter. Those are all starters.
No. Ellison. No, I mean, not Ellison. Sorry, Elliott.
Okay,
Elliott
so
is a ball boy, man.
Technically, the only starter you are missing was Odegaard coming in, because you didn't miss Saka, you didn't miss Timber. So this narrative that you have all these injuries, and they keep mentioning guys like Tierney, who that one, I don't think he has even worn the new Arsenal jersey. It's just a narrative that was built up to sell the match as to show like, but always the first few minutes was going to show where the game is going, and immediately Arsenal showed that they were there to fight. They were not joking around. And if you just follow the narrative of the game, we were chasing the whole time. You scored first, we equalized. You scored the second, we kept looking for the rest. So based on the narrative of the game and not the narrative before the game, a draw was okay with me.
Well, I don't know because really, I feel like you know, this was the best chance. Okay, let me put it differently, man. Right? Who was missing from that Liverpool starting 11? Two people, Diogo Jota and Alisson. Right? Now, who was missing from the Arsenal starting lineup?
No one, apart from Odegaard.
Saliba
got a red.
Who
told him to get the red?
No. I mean, forget about the dynamics of how they are missing. Hey. I'm saying they are missing.
If a guy has discipline issues, who do we blame?
Now
yeah,
see, you guys.
We blame the team.
But do you see what Jonah is trying to do?
No, injuries are bad luck. Injuries we can understand. It's bad luck. We can feel sorry for injuries, but we can't feel sorry for red cards. Just be disciplined. Follow the rules.
But one thing that stood out is really Saka's goal quite good. I was impressed by Saka, man. For me, I don't know why, but the first seasons I watched Saka, I always thought he was fake, but man, these last 2 seasons, he has proved that, man, he deserves to be in that squad. The guy's shot was on point.
Shot, man.
How about how to play football?
Me, I've never seen. Man, to be honest, I've never seen our man. What's his name? The left back. Your left back, Jonah. What's his name? Our guy, Robertson. I've never seen Robertson cut like that in my life. Not even by Barcelona.
Wait.
So I was like,
Robertson.
What is not happening here? Is this all the edge gripping in or what? But
yeah, but he's kind of. I mean, of course, taking nothing away from the goal, but Robertson has been declining for a while now.
Yeah. But there's a way in which the Liverpool keeper also cut some guy. Was it Havertz at the end there, like
Havertz,
United? Havertz.
Hey, that guy is good.
Him like he was in the midfield. I was like, you guy.
The
guy went sweet.
No. That guy is very good. Carmen Keller. Apparently, he used to be a midfielder in the non-leagues before he moved to keeper. Goalkeeper.
Yeah, actually, there is an argument that he is actually better than Alisson when it comes to on the ball. Yes. Like he's way too comfortable with the ball at his feet.
Yeah. Even his saves, man, he makes difficult saves. Like, of course he'll concede, but man, me, I love Kelly. The way he grabs is a really, really good keeper. He reminds me of Obahu, but he's good. He's very good.
No, he's a decent guy. Liverpool have like a strong, definitely a strong backup goalkeeper there.
Why don't you guys advise us on how to get a manager? Because when guys mentioned Anslot, guys were like, what? No one knows him. What, man? The guy is doing stuff, man.
Man, we're going to come to Manchester United. It's going to be the cherry on the cake for today's show. And so, ladies and gentlemen, please
pick a manager.
Jordan needs to tell you how to keep a manager, because you guys
not keep, how to pick.
Actually, how to pick, because you're doing badly. But very quickly, you guys, Jonah swerved my last point on Liverpool Arsenal before we go into City. Yeah, full squad, Jota and Alisson in, and full Arsenal squad: Calafiori, Saliba, Gabriel, Julian Timber, because that is the first 11 defense. Ben White comes off the bench.
Hold on. How can Calafiori be a starter when Timber is also a starter?
My brother,
Calafiori was only playing because Timber was injured. Now Timber is back and he's the starter.
But have you seen how Jonah is trying to confuse us?
No, you see, no. Me, I humbly accepted the draw, but you're still trying to pull this narrative that you entered the game weaker. So we should. I mean, does it give you more points? It's still 1 point.
Okay, fine. Let's take it that the teams are evenly matched. But my point is, and I want to first start by asking Manzi, because I've seen Jonah is a serious politician. One is seeing my bullet coming from far. Yeah. Now, Manzi, Arsenal full squad, first team on the pitch. Odegaard, Saka, yeah. Havertz up front, Declan Rice behind, yeah. Partey, first team. Liverpool first team. Who wins that game?
Depends on where it's played. Emirates over Anfield.
You're throwing in another dynamic, another spanner. Okay, let's say Arsenal comes to.
That's why you guys should have won. You were at home, you should have beaten these guys. But now you come to Anfield, you'll be assured Liverpool is going to mix you.
I can see how you guys are all playing politics, but it's okay. We can move on. Man City, ladies and gentlemen, taking advantage of that result right there at the Emirates. Of course, they did play their game earlier. Haaland with the only goal there is continuing his return to form, I should say, to the goal-scoring charts. And that was enough for them to earn a result against a stubborn Southampton at the Etihad. And that, like we saw, takes them to the top of the table, 1 point above Liverpool. And already there's a good gap there versus the Arsenal. So Arsenal has some catching up to do. Man City are managing to get the results to pluck them out of the bag, despite missing, Rodri and KDB, who are also two very crucial cogs. So perhaps, Jonah, your argument is right. We shouldn't be complaining. We should just carry on with the business, because the big boys who we're all trying to unseat are carrying on with the business like there's no problem. Manzi, these guys, what will it take to stop United? I need City. Do we need those charges, man, to come very quickly?
City should not be feared, because how can they fail to beat this? How can they fail to? They scored only one goal. So I'm not very convinced that. I don't know. Southampton, did they play well? I didn't watch the game. I think even
they were decent,
Haaland,
but Man City missed a lot of shots.
Yeah, he didn't score in the last game. Actually, he didn't score like in the last 2 games. This is his first goal like in 3 games.
In the Premier League.
I'm no longer scared of City. The other City of old, where they would get Southampton and kill them like 9. I think they are becoming fatigued a bit. So if they get a more difficult side like Liverpool or something, like one of those teams that Jonah keeps saying play some stubborn football, maybe like a Brentford or Brighton, they can struggle. So City has some more games that they're going to lose. They're not going to run away with it easily, especially because Liverpool and Arsenal are very good. They will keep them on their toes. Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens with City. Of course, they march on, and like I mentioned, that result taking them to the top of the league. But then moving on to another impressive team, Chelsea
Now
welcoming,
that is the team.
yeah, man, Newcastle to Stamford Bridge. Chelsea welcoming Newcastle to Stamford Bridge. 2-1 the final score. Chelsea opening the score with Nicholas Jackson, and then Alexander Isak leveling it for Newcastle before we did see the boy on fire, Mr. Cole Palmer, actually nicking it right there for Chelsea. 2-1 the final score. Jonah, your take on Chelsea, not only in this game, but in this so far their start to the season.
Yeah, Chelsea players are starting to click. The coach is still rotating a bit. One day Sancho plays 2 games, then Pedro Neto has come in and he's doing really well. And I think it's kind of working because every time a player is given a chance, he does well. The only criticism I would have for Chelsea is in defense. Almost every game they concede. They have, and even this Newcastle game, I watched the game, and especially in first half, Newcastle had so many chances to score 3 or 4, but they missed a lot of chances, and Chelsea took their chances. The Chelsea team is very relentless in attack, but they leave a lot of space in the back.
I know, I couldn't agree with you more. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, Chelsea, especially when you look at fantasy, I remember getting Cole Palmer in my team. I set and even forgot, made him captain, and every week he's just getting points. The way he plays, his link up play, his passing, his shooting. My only worry is that if he gets injured, who will do the work of Cole Palmer? Like Cole Palmer last season carried the team on his back alone. This season, guys are helping him, Jackson, Neto, and other guys. So guys need to protect him. He needs like secret service around him, Cole Palmer. But Cole Palmer is magnificent.
Man, the guys need to first sort out their after class also. You see, they're still wearing after class. I remember once you said.
Going up to now, I don't understand those guys where they can't sort out.
But Chelsea guys, I don't know. Sly and Ali G need to first tell us what is the problem.
They need to come and tell us. This thing looks proper, like after class or sports day.
At least they should come to Uganda. You should come to Uganda and Jenakov give them some diamonds, small. If I bank some Jenakov, because now really, what's this?
Jenna
Habos. Some comments coming in from our virtual audience here, ladies and gentlemen. Aumaza Micah Kevin says City is very deceptive. They give the impression that they're not up to the game until late into the league. When other teams realize it, it's actually it is actually the team to take the league. And of course, his comments here coming in relation to Man City. I think he does have a point there, Micah. As you can tell, right? City looking deceptive, where they're saying, "Oh, how will they survive? They have no Rodri, who's likely to be named player of the year, Ballon d'Or player. They have no Kevin De Bruyne, but they're still pulling out the results, right? So we will wait to see how things do pan out. Thanks, Micah. Keep the comments coming in. We have another one here coming in from Mark Ahewa Nazasura saying the Arsenal pool game was evenly matched. A draw was the optimal result. Arsenal were definitely on top in the first half. Liverpool took control in the second half. Gabriel's injury made Arsenal weaker. Jonah, you are arguing. I think you hear. These are other fans who actually
Arsenal fans. I know Mark. Mark is an Arsenal fan.
Mark is an Arsenal fan. This is some other guy. I think this guy is an ex-referee. So I mean, we can trust his word at least.
Ex-referee. I thought all refs are against you.
Man, only the ones set by Howard Webb, man. These Ugandan ones at least are impartial. Moving on to the other result from one of the big six, Spurs beaten by Crystal Palace. 1-0 the goal coming in from Jean-Philippe Mateta. And that gifted Oliver Glasner his first win of the season for Crystal Palace. Would you believe it? They've been struggling of late, and that condemned Mr. Postecoglou to another defeat there for Spurs. Not happy, a lot of the Spurs fans, with that performance, leaving them in 8th place on 13 points and, firmly rooted to the middle of the table right there. And very interesting times right there for Spurs. They definitely blow hot and cold. Jonah, are Spurs a threat for the top 6 really this particular season?
Well, the season is long. Maybe they will find their feet. They're kind of having a similar issue that Chelsea had at the very beginning of the season, that inconsistency. Like you will see one game they are creating so many chances, just chance after chance after chance, and maybe there's an issue of conversion. You see this man in the picture, Mickey van der Veen and Romero, looking world class in one game. Then in the next game, they are struggling against a Palace who are also doing poorly. So it's possible that they may find. I have a belief that they will find their feet. The season is still very long. Yeah.
Very interesting. Manzi, your take on these guys. Who are the? I mean, they're the ones who have been out of the big six. Well, in addition to Manchester United, who we'll get to in a moment, who seem to be the ones that are not certainties for top 6. You have Aston Villa there. You have Newcastle,
Chelsea.
Chelsea are part of the big six. But the other outsiders. What's your take?
Man,
I can see a guy here, man. Boom squad, man. Roll the boom.
Let's go.
Hey, man, you're here celebrating. Man, what's the problem? You're celebrating Ten Hag.
We're back, baby. We're back.
What do you, man? You said, Chris. Okay. Let me give him the appropriate welcome. Ladies and gentlemen in the virtual audience, we have Chris Wamanu, aka Lord Boom, aka Boom Squad Chairman, aka the sound of Old Trafford, as you can hear. The guy is so loud. The only thing louder than him is that waterfall that goes onto the pitch at Old Trafford. But anyway, Chris, you're most welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you so much.
You seem to be, you're very excited, and just in time, by the way, we're done with Spurs.
The negotiations for the new manager took longer than I expected, but we at least left it somewhere decent for the night. But that's why.
I've heard Ole is back. Manzi got his wish. Ole is back.
No, it won't be Ole. It won't be Ole. Anyway, go on, guys. Where were you?
No. We're just touching on conveniently leading to the result from the weekend that got Eric Ten Hag the sack. Manchester United losing 2-1, albeit in circumstances that weren't necessarily it didn't have good luck for Eric Ten Hag, because that contentious penalty at the end that Jared Bowen eventually dispatched, condemning United to a 2-1 defeat. And what that meant was, despite Casemira's equalizer for United after Somerville had given West Ham the lead, that condemned Mr. Eric Ten Hag to another defeat, and United languishing. Let me refresh the first page of the table. I have to scroll down to the next page of the table. They are in 14th place, having played 9 games.
I don't know, Matthew. Do you know about recoil velocity? It's one of those concepts people don't really understand about physics. It's a very interesting concept. You have to go back to come forward. So you have to go back. That's the same way Usain Bolt used to do this. Yeah. So you pull back. Then you go.
But you also pull back a bit, like from Kampala, you pull back to like maybe Nalia. But you guys, since Fagi left, you guys are pulling. You've reached West Nile, you've touched Sudan. We're waiting for you to bounce.
We're pulled back up to like South Africa.
We're waiting for the for that. But anyway, Ten Hag, the big news today, sacked, and that man right there in the picture, Ruud van Nistelrooy, who for me always looked like, and I think, Chris, did I mention this the last time you were on the show and we were discussing?
Yeah, that Ruud looked like a success appointment more than anything.
Ruud, even in this picture, the symbolism. Look at the voice of calmness, and then the other guy is like, boss, first be easy. I don't know what I'm doing, but we shall figure it out when we get to the Ajax, the Johan place. So anyway, Ten Hag sacked. Chris, I'll give you the mic. You seem very excited about it. Before you were a bit on the edge because you didn't want to start again. But
you see me, I back our managers till the end. I'll never step out on a manager. I'll back the manager till the end. I'll back the gaffer till the end. Actually, I thought I would catch the West Ham game because it wasn't too far from where I am, but I couldn't make it. So interestingly, I didn't even watch the game. So I listened to the game on BBC Radio. So I didn't even catch anything
old school.
about the game. Yeah, old school. But anyway, for me, I'm never a fan of switching managers. I think managers should be given time without the pressure. Ten Hag was definitely working on something, but I think that Ronaldo fallout in the dressing room, I don't think he recovered from that one. Whatever he was working on, but also my only problem is that whoever they bring in now is going to go into buying new players, and then all these other guys. Now Sancho, actually. Sancho and Ronaldo, that fallout I think did help. And then it's also rumored that he was having another fallout with Ahmad. That's why Ahmad was, he took an Anthony injury for Ahmad to play. Yeah, there's a bit of a rumor that there's also another fallout there with Ahmad. I don't know why. So I think that dressing room vibe. And when I talked to Onana, of course, he was a bit tight-lipped. But I asked him, how is the dressing room? But they're definitely very careful when they speak to anyone. But he just said, no, we'll get there. We'll get there. I mean, other teams are miles ahead of us. And for me, what that guy said to me was, the players get it. They know they're not going to be at the top overnight. It's going to take time. And that's why the players get it. The fans, as fans, we will not get it. For us, one result like yesterday, the players get it, that it needs for us to get into the system, into that. Now, along the way, of course, some players fall off. I mean, Bruno was firing on all cylinders, then all of a sudden just fell off. It takes time to come out of that recovery. So I'm never a big fan of changing managers. I think they should be given time, like Fergie was given the time. Ineos has come in with this new concept, which is more for me. It's when you begin trying to. Yeah, I don't think it's also the best way to run the biggest club in the galaxy. We shouldn't be running to save costs. We should actually be looking to do the biggest things. I mean, I read this whole nonsense of hitching rides to the Ballon d'Or awards for Maino and Maino and Garnacho.
Hey man, was that true? I looked at it and I was like, man, you can't even. United guys asking Man City for a ride on.
No, but you see, that's the thing. Now, you see, for Ineos, for him, he's looking at it as a financial decision. But he's a lifelong Man United fan, so I don't understand how that even makes sense. But on the flip side of it, it's because no, there's no pride. No, there's no pride between.
United. He's not lacking.
We don't recognize City. City is not a club. It's not a club in Manchester.
But that is not what you guys were saying when they're asking for a lift from the game.
No. You see, that's the thing. You see, you cannot get a lift from Arsenal, but City, we can. It's like getting a lift from Salford. It's fine. I mean, they're not really rivals. But if you tell me Arsenal, Liverpool, those we cannot have that. But that's where, for me, I think Ratcliffe kind of lost me. When you get into that cost cutting, you get rid of Sir Alex, and I just didn't get it. But what was clear for me with this decision was Ten Hag had until November 1st. And November 1st was approaching, and it wasn't clear where. Basically, he had to put us at a certain point by November 1st. So it wasn't even about the performance over the weekend. I think it was more of November 1st came, and the position was below where it should have been. If that position was probably in top 5, he could have actually stayed.
Man, did you agree with this man?
Of course not. Chris Mofunyo. United is so poor. Number one, Ten Hag should have left last season. Some guys gave him up to the summer. Guys wanted to give him up to Christmas. Me, there's no way you can tell me, oh, we gave him money, he bought players. The players are fake. The guys he bought are fake. His management style is fake. You can't determine what kind of football he's playing. Man, for me, has been Ten Hag out since like August 2023. So
I know, man, you're still
it's just
attached
been
to
long
Ole.
overdue. Pardon?
You're still attached to Ole, man.
Ole is a proper OB, like Ruud van Nistelrooy. I'll be attached to Ruud van Nistelrooy even if he's fake. But I didn't see enough from Ten Hag to keep supporting him year after year, give him time. No, man, we need an Ancelot kind of manager who comes in and hits the ground running. We can give you 1 season, but experience of 3 seasons, 4 seasons, 14th, you guys. Ole was fake, but I don't think we're 14th in Ole's reign. 14th.
No,
Okay,
but
one
you
win
see,
in 8.
Manzi, I'll say what I said
Yeah.
before. It is not that the football was bad. We just were not scoring. And that has been there since Fergie left. Do you know how long it took us? You know, in the Fergie's last game was West Brom, I believe. It was a 5-5 draw. Was it? Yeah, 5-5 draw. That was Fergie's last game. Do you know how long it took us to score 5 goals again in a game? I think it was Ole. That's when we scored 5 goals again. That's how bad we've been in front of goal since Fergie left. We have not been clinical. So it's not actually been the managers. The chances we've created, the finishing has been bad. It's been atrocious. That's the thing. But of course now, and that's why I kind of blame the managers. I mean, if you need finishers and then you bring in Zaxi, who is more of a number 10 than a finisher. No. He's a very good number 10. But that's the thing. He's a number 10. Now, where do you continue to play the 3 up front with a single striker when you have Zaxi as that striker, or do you go into the traditional 4-4-2 and play Zaxi and Hoyland together with Zaxi feeding as the 10? That made sense, but that change wasn't coming also quick enough, which was very clear. It should have come.
I can play for United and I strike and score more goals than the United striker.
Exactly.
Like,
that's
the way I am now.
But it comes
You
down
get me
to
a
making.
United squad.
No, Garnacho gets into a space and he would rather shoot. And you're like, mate, you're never going to score from there. You're not scoring from 6 yards out. Why do you think you score from 20 yards out? But he's taking the shot.
The bicycle kickoff is him. He thinks he can bang it from all over the pitch.
That was our problem. It was the goal. It was the goal.
Even the great Wayne Rooney banged it once, man. You see him bang it every game from the corner of the pitch, man. He wants to.
I didn't watch the West Ham game, but I'm told it should have been 3-0 at halftime.
Yes,
it should be like 5.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, it should have been like 5.
Now,
Garnacho is fake. Rashford is fake. Dalot, don't even mention Dalot. As in, you guys.
So now that
maybe
one, can you honestly blame the manager? If he's getting the guys in front of goal, they cannot finish. All the games, even in Europa, the games where that we've drawn.
I want to
when you have a guy like Pep will slap you at halftime and first put you in order.
I want to pull Jonah in. Jonah, hearing the narrative, man. Guys are now blaming the players. Before it was Ten Hag. Now they're blaming the players. But before Jonah, you come in, let me bring in some of our people in the virtual audience. They have something to say, some few comments coming in. Paul Fabricia, this is a Chelsea man. He says 2 points away from relegation zone. He's talking about Man United.
Those are the first ones facing Arath this weekend. Tell him to talk slowly.
Chelsea, Frob, I don't know if you've heard. You're in trouble this weekend. The new manager bounce at United is coming for you. Micah Kevin comes back and says, of course he's laughing. He says, pull back velocity indeed. Man United pulled way back as far as Kisoro, you guys. Let's see how they'll maneuver those corners and hills from Kisoro back to the city. That's an interesting one. You guys pulled anyway. Mark Mark here, a Man United fan. No, actually, I think he's an Arsenal fan. Mark Aima. That's what I'm saying.
He's an Arsenal fan. Full.
It says, what message was sent to the dressing room when the top management was actively looking for managers after last season? Ten Hag's days were definitely numbered. Of course, United didn't manage this properly as well. We'll come to that. We'll come to that. Kevin again saying Eric Ten Hag's style wasn't going to get him anywhere. He's expensively bought, many flops. His constant picks at the players, his shambolic results to the pitch. Guys, let's just admit he was a dead man walking. And finally, Frob is hitting back. He said, man, they lose to Chelsea and it's proper 19th position. So United guys need to be careful what you wish for.
I think Chelsea will mix us.
Chelsea, I don't know. That's going to be an interesting game. Jonah, I first pull Jonah into this because these two Man United fans are here dominating the conversation. They keep flip-flopping. Jonah, was it the players or was it Ten Hag?
Honestly, it's so funny what Chris said there, that United has a problem with scoring. And I'm like, yeah, actually, I watched the West Ham game and you guys could have won that game like 4-0. I was with you there until you said you took it back to the Fergie era. So you're saying that's what, like more than 10 years, 13 years ago? That all the players who have come in were all bad signings. That's what, like 7 coaches, I don't know, 20 players, 30 players, and none of them knows how to score.
No. I didn't say the players. I said our problem has been finishing. We create the chances, we don't finish them.
So how do you reason that?
If you just what's the class of 92? The class of 92 would tell you that they would leave the pitch, and Beckham, I think it was at first Beckham would stay on the pitch for 30 minutes after, which is the same thing I said about Lukaku. That Lukaku just needed to do that work on his first touch, and he would practice those free kicks until he perfected them. So I wondered, what do these guys do at Carrington? So you finish training, Garnacho, you have missed the goal by miles the weekend before. So you finish with everyone and you go and have lunch. Why don't you stay? Put in an extra 30 minutes and work on your shooting. Same thing with Lukaku. I couldn't understand how does Lukaku have a poor first touch and is a professional footballer.
You guys want the chap to go for prep, man. United guys are doing
That's what the class of 92, that's how those guys used to do. Scalzi. That's how they perfected their shooting. They would stay on the turf. Everyone else goes, they stay. And they practice free kicks.
But hold on. Okay. And you know, some people are here agreeing with you. Frobisha here, the Chelsea man, says Chris has a point. But I disagree. Because, can you compare? Yes, there's an issue with finishing currently. Last season, there's an issue around it. The previous season, Rashford was on fire. So what changed between then and last season and this season? Something is not right with the manager. He's not also setting up the team.
It was the Sancho. I know Jonah was coming in, was still going on, but the treatment of Sancho and Ronaldo didn't leave the dressing room the same, and I think that's what affected some of the players.
I think there was a fracture there because if you notice, from the time Ronaldo and Sancho left, all of a sudden Rashford's form dipped.
Exactly.
He's just been trying to manage the dressing room because he's in charge.
Yeah.
But and could it actually act to United's detriment that they have gotten rid of Ten Hag but maintain the same playing staff? Coaching staff, because it's only Ten Hag who has left. Ruud van Nistelrooy is taken over. I'm sure he'll.
The coaching staff are all new. Remember, he changed.
No. Well, most of them. Not all of them. Not all of them.
McLaren left. Ruud is new.
It's like 3 of them. Benny McCarthy, McLaren.
Exactly. Benny McCarthy, McLaren
like 3 guys.
Exactly. But those are the 3 main guys. The guys who are around him, all left. So they were all new. So you can say that the players will have a fresh rapport with them, especially Ruud. I'm sure they'll have a very good rapport with him.
But you're right, Matthew, you're right. If Ten Hag goes and you continue playing Dalot, you continue losing. Dalot has to go.
Dalot, I think is
Garnacho has to go.
No, Dalot, I think is quality. For me,
Zaxi has to go.
No.
6 players have to first be on bench.
No. Let me tell you, even me, I was looking at that team and I would be like, what is up with Ten Hag's selection? His selection would even baffle me. I like what's going on with that midfield, even before the match kicks off. So for me, what I'm driving at here is United did not have an identity. You can tell what Liverpool's identity is. You can tell what Chelsea's identity is. Interestingly, Chelsea have actually
the identity.
The manager.
Thank you.
In some cases, but also the DNA of the club, the DNA of Man United was firmly shaped by Fergie. What kind of football was he playing, Chris? You're not very good at the history books here. What would you say was Fergie's brand of football?
Fergie was
it counter-attacking? Is it? I know it was traditional 4-4-2. Man, they come for him, man. Don't start telling us about Man U. But anyways, Fergie's blend of football, traditional 4-4-2, but it was action until the 90, not even 90th, but the 102nd minute.
So Fergie was interesting. His was more of, you know how when you are in high school and they were giving you reports and your dad was picking you, and you're like, if this report is bad, I don't know how I'm even going to enter that car. Actually, I wish he doesn't come. Yeah. If you watch any documentaries about Fergie's, the guys who played for Fergie, they will tell you that we used to be scared. That's why they used to score so many goals before the game ends in 90 minutes or around that area, because they were so scared of going in having lost the game. It was.
I get you, because that's the same thing with Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
You can tell
him, it was, you have to push until the end. Even halftime was risky.
No, you could say the same for Pep Guardiola, but my point is around the philosophy of football. That is something that I think United had lost or have lost.
No, but
so when you guys are talking about
why cannot say Fergie had an identity? One, football at the time was not about identity. Guys were just playing 4-4-2, and we just go and be happy. But Fergie was
even
versatile.
Liverpool had its.
Fergie was extremely versatile. He would just work with the players he has. Fergie won the Champions League with Fletcher. Let's not forget that. Darren Fletcher in his midi. He was extremely he would work with who he has. He had Rude, then he had Andy Cole and Dwight York, then he had Cantona at some point. Then he had Chicharito at some point, then he got Rooney. He would work with who he had. Then he had Ronaldo, Tevez, and that's when I think that then he went into that counter-attack mode with Ronaldo, Tevez, and Rooney. He changed his style of play. With Dwight York and Solskjaer and Sheringham, he didn't have the pace he would have wanted. So for him, he was
adapting to his players.
Exactly. He would adapt. He would know these are the players' strengths. Let's play like that.
And I just bring in this comment here, Chris, just to and perhaps bring in the other guys as we bring it to a close, right?
Yeah.
This comment here is very profound. Kevin Micah saying Rangnick's open heart surgery at United must go on. Remember Ralph Rangnick, the guy who took over for a few months after Ole? He said United need open heart surgery. Yeah?
The formation of four.
The whole thing, take it out and you put back another heart. Yeah? And you guys are here saying, oh no, that's not the problem. Then you're saying, but now the players are the problem, they are not finishing. They say, but the players are the same way performing, the dressing room. So now we're going round in circles. Is it the manager? Is it the player? Is it the manager? Is it the player? Is there a philosophy? No philosophy. No. Let's one more here coming in from Imperial Paul, who says the United issue is deeper than the coach. Yeah, I think these are true United fans.
What's the issue? Let Jonah tell us what the issue is.
Okay.
Liverpool wannabes.
Jonah can chip in. But fans, please give your comments.
I agree with that last comment of open heart surgery. Like the issue at United is much bigger. I'll just pick out for me one thing that if I was a United fan would make me run mad. Every time I switch on the TV, every time you switch on the internet, you have these ex-players of yours who are yapping away. And they have so much and they actually have so much influence on the narrative. First of all, they put out bad vibes for the team. Like you're talking about these Garnacho's missing and what. Like you can't reach the level that these Rashfords are at, and you don't know how to finish. These are things that they learn in school. There are some basics which you will see a Garnacho struggling with, and you're like, what's up? So it comes down to the confidence. That confidence starts from the media. There's something Chris is always saying. He's always saying It's because United is such a big club, and the media is always on them. But 90% of that media is United ex-players. They're the ones who are there always yapping. Now they are going to try and influence who the next coach is. They're going to say, no, it should be so-and-so. It should be so-and-so. Then you're going to go and start trying to buy players again. All those players, the media has a big influence on United, more than any other club when it comes to signing players. Am I right or wrong, guys?
Now, first you actually said it.
Please, let me first come in.
That only happens at Liverpool, man, and United. First, yeah.
Okay, Manzi, take it.
Anyway, Manzi, you come in. Manzi, come in.
I was going to say that, the truth of the matter is that we need to take a step back. Football is a very simple game. Stop the ball, pass the ball, score. Defenders defend, midfielders create, and the strikers score. But when you try to overcomplicate things, I agree a bit with Jonah that there's too much scrutiny, too much pressure on the players. Some small teams like Brighton, you never see any press about them, but they're there winning their games. Liverpool, it's not a small team, but you never see anything in the press about Liverpool, and they're performing. So these guys, because they have this shadow of they have to be great, they have to be like Ole, they have to win the treble. That pressure makes them play poorly. So we need a manager who is unknown, who comes and just does his stuff, bounces all these old, like Rashford, like Bruno, take out that old United thinking and bring in players who are relatively young, who can grow with the team and then perform. Of course, we want results like next week, next year we'll have won the treble, but we need to see improvement. We cannot just be in this cycle of sack, get a new manager, sack. Yeah.
Buy new players. You spent over 200 million pounds this summer, for crying out loud, guys. For me, the issue is the identity and the manager. And
if they give me that club, I can manage it properly.
I mean, once you sort out a manager, you see what United needs is what Arteta did to the Arsenal. You need a guy who's just going to come in and say, Bruno Fernandes, you're benching. Zaxby, you're playing Fernandez's position. Recall Sancho from Chelsea. Fall in.
I don't remember, guys. Was Sancho a loan or was it a full deal?
No, it's a loan.
Sancho was sold.
Sancho's a loan. Was he sold?
Yeah, Sancho was sold.
No, let me check it.
Because I was trying to remember if it was a loan or a full deal. Because remember, it was a swap Sancho for Sterling that was on the cards.
Yes.
Now it's Sterling. Sterling from Chelsea is the one that's a loan.
Sterling is a loan. Yeah. But remember, the swap was about Sancho and Sterling. I just don't remember if it was. Anyway, as we check, but I can probably.
I'll find out.
So I'll first speak to what Jonah said. Ex-players. First of all, United in the Premier League's, the current Premier League format history, has the biggest and most successful British players. No other club has more successful British players than United. And that's because, Fergie did a very good job picking British players. Now, what tends to happen is those British players typically are picking up jobs in British media. Naturally. I mean, Gary Neville's Strictly, is it overlap? There's overlap. He has like 3 shows on Sky alone. On those 3 shows, he's with Carragher, Roy Keane, and Ian Wright. But of course, all the the Beckhams have been on the show, the Rooneys have been on the show, all the ex-United guys he played with have been on the show. Exactly. So you kind of suffer from the success that we had. That no other club. I mean, Liverpool. If you take out who, I don't know, Fowler, there's a way in which all those other clubs, their players did not reach that pinnacle of greatness to actually have a good appeal for the media, to join the media room. So we've naturally, because of that success that we had in the 90s, the players who played in those 90s were a very, media houses want them to join their media house and have an opinion on everything. So naturally, we have a lot more people commenting. If you look at Arsenal that was sharing that podium with us in the 90s, most of their players were either French or foreigners. They only come in to watch games and leave. No one's going to listen to Henry, talking for too long. So that's
my brother. It's because they're not watching Champions League.
It comes from the success. But the one thing that someone actually mentioned, I don't know who, someone in the virtual audience mentioned, is the Glazers. You cannot also take away the damage the Glazers have done for all these years. And you cannot...
they're still there.
Yes, and I can almost certainly tell you that Fergie's decision to leave was because of the Glazers, or to end his career was not because he wanted to add, but I think he saw what the Glazers were doing and he wasn't interested. I think for 6 seasons, all these Pogba signings, we used to go into the transfer window and we needed to sign the biggest player in the window.
Whoever the Real Madrid, the Real Madrid of the UK.
It didn't matter whether he's going to where will he play, how will we fit him in. It did not matter. We just needed to sign that player. That's how the Pogbas came back. That's how Ronaldo, first of all, just kind of
Chelsea bought like 200 players last market, and they are
Chelsea
that's the consequence of.
It's actually very similar to what Chelsea is doing, and it's not coincidental that both owners are American. Because if you look at the Glazers, for them, they were after the biggest signing in the window. That is all they were after. Whoever that person was, that's the one we're getting.
Which is what Chelsea is doing. Obviously, they're doing it for the marketing in mind. And just putting in some more comments here before we start to bring it to an end. So the guys in here confirming that Sancho's transfer from Man United to Chelsea is the loan with an obligation to buy. And Pierre Paul, they are saying it was a loan. Frobisher saying, as you can see, loan with an obligation to buy. 30 million pounds if he meets the state targets. And Paul Frobisher here saying just not Chelsea's in the same boat. I think in regards to the transfers. And just to bring it to a close, because we do have to start winding up. The options right now, Man United have basically installed Ruud van Nistelrooy, as you've seen there, as an interim coach or interim manager for Man United. They haven't put a period, but you'd like to think that if he does incredibly well, new manager bounce there back into the top 4, they qualify for the top 4 somehow. Potentially, they could be looking at keeping him, especially if he gets those new signings that you guys have talked about, firing the likes of Zaxi, the whole defense. Eric Ten Hag misusing the players that he brought in. Mazraoui in the last outing playing number 10 at some point, and I think that was part of the nail in the coffin for his players that he did bring in, and we'll see. But the options there, gentlemen, and I'll ask Chris and Manzi. These are the 5 names that are being mooted. You have obviously Ruud van Nistelrooy himself. You have Graham Potter. You have Zinedine Zidane. You have the Brentford guy, Thomas Frank, and who's
Ruben.
the 5th guy?
Ruben
Amorim, yes, from Sporting. Who of those takes over for you? Chris, very quickly.
It's a tough one. I haven't seen Ruben Amorim. I've not followed him or anything, so I don't know what kind, but he looks to be in pole position to take the job. I don't know if he'll handle that dressing room, but hopefully he will. But otherwise, I think Ruud should be allowed to see out the season or something, rather than rush to get a guy in now. I don't think that would be the best thing to do. I think Ruud can see out the season.
Okay, Manzi, who takes it? Okay, let's end. Okay, sorry, Manzi. Let me come back to you, Chris. End of the season, Man United have finished 5th. No, I don't think you're winning at trophy. Let's say you finish 4th miraculously, or let's say 5th. You finish 5th from where you are. With momentum, you win your last 10 games. You finish 5th. Ruben Amorim, Thomas Frank, or Ruud van Nistelrooy?
Look, like I said, Amorim I've not watched. I'm just going to see what kind of football he plays now. But what I also know about these managers that don't have experience in Premiership, it's a different animal altogether. They come in and they start, struggling to find their feet. So for me, it's Ruud. I would stick with Ruud. Just like when Moyes left, I was for let gigs take it. Let gigs take it. So I would stick with Ruud. Yeah.
You see, these are the guys. You're just like all those ex-United players on Sky making noise. Same bucket. Jonah, who do you think? I'll come to you, Manzi. Jonah, who if you are in United's, their sporting director, what's it? Is it Omar Berrada, the guy from Man City? That's the head of football. Dan Ashworth.
I mean, if I if I was someone that wished United well, which I'm not, the logical thing is what Chris said. You don't want to put too much disruption in the middle of the season. I'll continue with Rude. Let him see out the season. Wherever you end is wherever you end, and you use that whole period to actually vet a proper coach, as opposed to panicking and just getting whoever is available. Because you never know what happens in the summer. You can take the whole period from now till the summer to properly vet and go through the process, as opposed to reacting.
Yes. So you go with Ruud van Nistelrooy, right?
Yeah, till end of the season.
Yeah. And if United finish fifth, a run of 10 games, they have an identity. The guy has found the team. It's clicking.
I would still get a new coach. I think the job is too big, honestly.
For Van Nistelrooy, okay.
For next player.
I think it would be the same thing with Ole, right? Like he could have that new coach bounce, and that could carry him the whole season. He could finish fifth, and that would be very, very good. And then you say, okay, let's give him the next season. And at the slightest sign of something going bad, everyone will turn on him. But I feel like if you get a totally fresh guy who has no ties to the club, like an ex-player where the expectations are a bit different, you get like that Amorim guy, he comes with his new plan, you really start afresh.
Okay.
You can give it more time.
Okay. Manzi, I know you're a guy for Ole, but my man, talk to us.
Jonah sounds like he has a lot of wisdom. This whole situation reminds me of our own KCCA. Right now, there are some people in jail. There were the executive directors, but 42 people have already applied to take on the position. You're like, man. So United is like that poisoned chalice. There's a phrase which goes that fools rush in where angels dare to tread.
All right. Preach.
So the way guys are rushing in for the job where a guy has just been sacked, and they're like, no, me.
Biggest club in the galaxy. I keep telling you. Even Pep wants to be called. Even Pep wants to be called. I can assure you.
That ship has sailed, my brother. Just forget.
Pep can't come to United. But anyway, I'm saying, like Jonah, just chill Ruud, let him game the season, but have a plan. Like people have been saying, pundits, that this guy should have been sacked in the summer. But the fact that he wasn't sacked in the summer, it means that they backed him. But then they unbacked him. Like, we are neither here nor there. Once we decide, let us do. So, for example, if you want to get Amorim, let him come now. Don't give Ruud even this weekend. Let him come tomorrow. Because all you need is just pay him. Because you give Ruud 2 games, then the other guy comes in December again.
No. You give him the rest of the season, which is what Chris was saying.
I say, Amorim has to come like tomorrow, but one.
That for me has never worked. Middle of the season, new to the league, the Premier League.
Even Sporting, getting him out now is going to be a challenge.
I know. I think it's a 10 million clause. It's not too much.
No. It's not about the money. It's about the timing. The timing of the season. Chaps are they in Champions League or something like that? Please, guys, don't forget you are not in the Champions League.
It's about money. Once you have money, anything can happen.
For those small clubs, it's about money. It's about money.
It's about money. Just pay them and the guy will come.
You just need to pay them.
No, the trauma of Thursday night is too much, guys. It's big guided. Anyway, with that, we have to leave it. We have to leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining. Chris came in as a special guest today. Thank you for joining. Jonah, Mr. Liverpool, as usual, thank you for joining. And Manzi, Ole, Team Ole as well. Thank you for joining. And for all those who have tuned in, who have dropped your comments, Paul, Frobisha, Imperial Paul, Kevin, Micah, right there, and of course, Marka Hewa, Nasasa. Thank you very much as well. Do feel free to hit the subscribe button for those watching that haven't already, and we will be back next week, same time, same place. Do have a fabulous rest of the week ahead. Bye-bye.